Hi dear friends and viewers, welcome back to our channel Anunay Kumar Basics of Physics. Dear friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the one of the important chapter or important question in the chapter of nuclei, that is what are the nuclear forces and write the properties of nuclear forces. That is important for 4 marks question. So dear students, if you want to understand the topic, you have to watch the video up to last without any skip. Then only my content will reaches you. If you want to achieve something, you have to be patient. Okay? Look here now. What is a nuclear force? Dear students, we know that the nucleus has nucleons. What are nucleons? Protons and neutrons. Clear? So to understand the nuclear force, first you have to understand this one. This is the nucleus. In that nucleus there are some nucleons are there. Clear? What are these? These are the nucleons. Just imagine. Clear? And this is the entire atom, and there should be nucleus. In that nucleus some nucleons are there. Clear? So what are those? Neutrons, protons, proton, neutron, like that. So here protons and neutrons are called nucleons. What we call? Nucleons. Clear, children? So all of you know it is very difficult to maintain a relation between two enemies. It's very difficult to combine them. So to make a good relationship and to make a relation between or friendship between two enemies, it's very difficult to, again they have to mingle each other. సో ఇద్దరు బద్ధశత్రువులు ఉన్నారనుకోండి, ఆ బద్ధశత్రువులు మనం కలపాలంటే చాలా కష్టం. మనము చెప్తూ ఉంటే వాళ్ళు విడిపోతుంటారు, లేదా కలిస్తే ఒకరినొకరు కొట్టుకోవడానికి ట్రై చేస్తుంటారు కదా. అంటే ఏంటి? దే ఆర్ రిపల్స్ ఈచ్ అదర్. One person not likes the another. That's why they become very biggest enemies in their lives. Like that. Here, proton, neutron. We have proton charge is what? Positive charge. For neutron, there is no charge or zero charge or neutral charge. Clear? So here proton is positive, neutron is neutral or zero charge. So if we can take proton, they must be have positive charges. Positive means what? They are like charges. Like charges. When they have like charges, they must be repulse one another. Repulse one another. Got it, children? So actually what we know, the size of the nucleus is very less. In that some nucleons are there like proton, they can repulse, and due to the repulsion they must be came out from the nucleus, but it's not happening. What's the reason for that? Got my point? The size of the nucleus is very small. In that protons are there. In that protons some unlike forces, they are unlike forces. That means what? In between them some repulsion force is there. When they have repulsion force, they must be came out from the nucleus, but they are not came out from the nucleus. Why? Because means here we have to think about that. What it just you have to imagine. There is some other force acting between those nucleons in addition to the force of repulsion. Not only force of repulsion is not available there. In addition to that, some attractive force is there. So proton they must repulse, but they are not came out from the nucleus. Why? Because in addition to the repulsive force between those nucleons, some other attractive force is acting. That should be maintained to keep them at their respective positions. Clear? Got my point? In addition to the repulsive forces between the nucleons, there is some force of attraction is going to be takes place in between the nucleons. That force is called here nuclear force. Got it? The amount of force here, amount of force required to keep the nucleons at their respective positions, that is called nuclear force. The force which can be keeps the nucleons at their respective position, what we call nuclear force. Nuclear forces are attractive forces. Clear, children? Just now only we discussed why it is attractive forces. Clear here? In that nucleus, here proton, nucleon, so many protons, so many nucleons are there. Clear? So the nuclear force can exist between proton, neutron, neutron, any combination like that. So here among the proton, neutron, nuclear force can exist, and that should be here what it is, attractive forces. Clear? So nuclear forces are always attractive forces. That is the first one. And second one is, these are independent of charge. Nuclear forces are independent of charge. It means that what? They do not depend upon the charge. Clear? Why? Because look here, in this combination, proton is positive, for neutron there is no charge. Proton is positive, and here this is the neutron is 0, 0. Even though these neutrons have no charge, even though they do not have the charge, but there is some forces that are acting between them. That is what it is here, nuclear force. That's why the nuclear force can exist between the two protons which are having some charge. At the same time, the protons, neutrons do not have any charge. Even though do not have any charge, they can experience the nuclear forces. That's why what I have to say, nuclear forces are independent of charge. And third one is, these are the short range forces. Why these are short range forces? So children, already the size of the atom is 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. This is very least one. In that again, size of the nucleus is what? 10 to the power of minus 15 meters. This is the size of the nucleus, and this is the size of the atom. That's why here the atom only very least one. In that again, nucleus is very smaller one. In that again, nuclear forces are acting. That's why what I have to say, these are the short range forces. And fourth one, nuclear forces are non-central forces. Nuclear forces are non-central forces. It means that this is the one nucleus, one nucleon, and this is the another nucleon. So the nuclear force may be acts in any direction, but not along the line joining the centers of the nuclei. So it does not acts along the line joining the centers of the nuclei. That's why what you have to say, nuclear forces are non-central forces. And next thing is, children, nuclear forces are the spin dependent. Next property is what? Nuclear forces are the, next one is what? Nuclear forces are spin dependent. That means the nucleons which are in the nucleons which are oriented in the same direction, they have the more moment value. That means what? The nucleons which are in the same moment. So if they are in the same moment of orientation, they have the maximum momentum. Clear? That's why here what you have to say, they are the spin dependent but not dependent upon the charge, independent of charge and dependent upon the spin. And next thing here children, they are the very strongest forces. And next one is what? Nuclear forces are the strongest forces in nature. How it means here, it is should be greater than the 10 power of 38 times. Nuclear force is the greater than the 10 power of 38 times of gravitational force. So it is 38 times more than the gravitational force. That's why what you have to say, nuclear force are the strongest forces, and nuclear force are also greater than the Coulombic forces. Clear children? And next thing is here, nucleons can exchange, or simply here we have tried like this, nuclear force between two nucleons is because of exchange of particles by mesons. Clear? The force between the nucleons should be because of exchange of the particles. Which particles? Pi mesons. So children, these are the main characteristics about the what are nuclear forces and what is properties. Okay, thank you for watching.